Hello everyone, and welcome to the 14th episode of Down the Hobbit Hole. My name is Emily. Today is Thursday, June the 22nd, 2017. This is Tesla. Oh. No. And this is my weekly podcast about knitting and spinning and all things making. We are coming to you today from East Tennessee, where I live with my husband and my super fluffy Tesla and my chubby cat who stole the chair I was supposed to be using for podcasting today. But he looks really cute and he's right in front of me, so I'm going to let it slide today. And every day. I never move him. But yeah, if you'd like to find me online, you can find me on Instagram as MistyMountMakers. You can find me on Ravelry as MistyMountMakers. And you can also find our group in Ravelry. You can search under the Groups tab for Misty Mountain Makers. Or you can just click the link that's down below because all of that information is down there. And if you need to get in touch with me, but for some reason, Ravelry or Instagram's not your thing, it's totally fine. You can email me at emily@mistymountainmakers.com, and that'll be down below as well. So, last week we talked about having a giveaway once we reach 100 subscribers, and we're getting there. Right now we are in the mid-60s. So if you want to help speed that along, go ahead and like the video if you like it, and subscribe to the channel. And we will be doing that giveaway in the Ravelry group. So you can head over there and join if you'd like to. And yeah, hopefully we will be doing that giveaway soon. I haven't quite picked out the skein of yarn that I'm going to give away or the goodies that will be going with it, but I'm having fun trying to decide on that. So hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. Today I am drinking coffee. It's Kroger brand, which is a supermarket that we've got over here. I don't know how widespread it is. We didn't have it in Florida, but we have it here in East Tennessee. And it's their raspberry tort, which is surprisingly good. It's got a kind of a chocolatey flavor with just a hint of raspberry, but otherwise it's just a nice dark coffee. So it's got a little bit of milk in it, but no sugar. We do have a cowl going at the moment, and that's knit or crochet, whatever you want, but we are working on Middle-earth themed projects. Anything Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, anything you want. And that's going on. We're on week 7, but we have 7 weeks left. So if you want to join in, you are more than welcome. We are... Oh yeah, Tesla? Yeah. We have 7 weeks left, so there's plenty of time to join in, and whips are welcome. The only thing I ask is that if you are, I think the only requirement that we really have is that you have at least 50 grams of yarn in the project. So if you have a whip that you think might work, as long as you can tell me why it's Lord of the Rings themed when you post in the finished objects thread, I'm not worried about it. Tell me a little story or just give me a brief explanation if it was inspired by a character or a place. Anything you want, just tell me why it works. We've got a lot of cool projects going on in there right now, so if you head over to the chatter thread, you'll be able to see all the different things people are working on. And we're also tracking our mileage. So I am currently at, and I've used my Fitbit, I'm currently at 131.1 miles for the past 7 weeks. So that places me just outside of Bree. And that means I'm close to the Prancing Pony, which means I need to go to the store and pick up a nice six-pack to celebrate so that I can have a pint when I finally reach the Prancing Pony. Because what else would you do when you get to the Prancing Pony but very excitedly order a pint? If you are new and you're only just hearing about the cowl, or if you've been thinking about joining, you can. The mileage is not a race at all. So you are more than welcome, if you have some kind of tracker, you're more than welcome to look at what you've been doing over the past 7 weeks, or you can just start, today. And just, if you go jogging or you go bike riding or something like that, and you can work out about how far you're going, you can always enter that in. The website to find out where you are in Middle Earth for the Eowyn challenge is down below, so you'll be able to find out where you are, and then head over to the chatter thread and let us know. We've got a couple people who have already checked in recently, and it's fun to see where everybody is. I'm currently averaging about 19 to like 22 miles a week, and I really want to step that up. And I know it's not a race, but I have been more active, and I've actually been working out with my husband and losing some weight and just getting a little more fit. I don't know how much weight. We don't own a scale, but we can both tell that fitness is happening, me and my husband. So I want to step that up to like 25 miles a week being my minimum, but I'd like to aim for 30. So I'm going to start just maybe running around with the dog more, just running all over the property like a crazy person. I don't have too many neighbors, so no one should really mind, but I'm going to do what I can to step up that mileage and see if I can increase how quickly I'm getting fit. So we'll see. But that's the point of the challenge, is just to get out, get moving, and get a little more fit. So, on a similar yarny topic, the East Tennessee Yarn Crawl started on the 16th, so this past Friday, and I teamed up with my friend Alyssa and Shay, friends Alyssa and Shay, and we were gonna go out to Kingsport to Carriage House, and then to Tazewell, to go to Mountain Hollow Farms, but that fell through. Alyssa and Shay still needed to get their passports, so we decided to do the Knoxville run, because if they were to get their passports out at one of the far locations, they would have to turn it in over at the far location. So we decided to do the Knoxville stores. So we went to Yarn Haven, Loopville, Atomic Fibers, Clinch River, and Hook and Needle. So we got 5 of them out of the way in one day. And it was the 17th, so it was the second day of the yarn crawl. So all the stores were really busy. So I got what footage I could after I asked and got permission. But some of the stores were busy, and I kind of wanted to be respectful of the people who were in the store and not make them uncomfortable. So I took a couple of shots, so I'll put 2 or 3 of the shops at the end of the video. I didn't get any from Atomic Fibers because it is a smaller store and they had quite a few people in there, so I just didn't want to bother anyone, so I left off with that. But it was a lot of fun. We got to see so many stores, and afterwards we went to Barley's, and that's a local restaurant we've got in Maryville, which is walking distance from Hook and Needle, which is very convenient, and we had a really good time. So this week I'm going to be going to Smoky Mountain Spinnery, sorry. I'll be going to Smoky Mountain Spinnery with Tim, because we're going to Gatlinburg anyways to see my family, so I should be doing that on Saturday, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Alyssa, Shay, and I will be going around on the 30th to the 2 shops that are further away. One nice thing about the yarn crawl is that at every shop you go to, they have patterns, and they'll have a knit and a crochet version. They're not necessarily the same exact pattern, but they'll have a knit pattern for you to choose from, or a crochet pattern. So I chose the knit pattern everywhere we went, and I got my favorite so far, and it's probably the simplest out of all of them, but I really like it, was from Hook and Needle. And they have, it's essentially a ribbed rectangular shawl. And I'm not into rectangular shawls, but you can wear it like a scarf, or you can wear it like a shawl around your shoulders, or, you know, however you want to wear it. And this one is, it's so simple. And Susan, she's one of the women who works there, and she's an amazing knitter. And she made one out of her sock yarn scraps, and it's beautiful. It looks, it almost looks like you're looking at a rock wall, and you can see all the like swirls of color in it. That's kind of how hers turned out. They're not all earth tones either. I don't know how she made it so pretty. The model they had on display, they had two different ones, and it, I'll have that in at the end of the video. It is 3 or 4 different colors, but it looks like Neapolitan ice cream because they stripe in the new color so it fades from one color to the next. Now, I haven't decided if I want to knit this, but if I do, I'm back and forth. Do I want to do a fade with my hand-dyed yarn where, because you're not fading from the short end to make the length of it. You're actually casting on the longest side and working your way up. So you'll be able to see all of the colors. However you wear it, you'll be able to see all the colors. So I haven't decided if I want to do a fade with my hand-dyed or if I want to use all of my scraps like Susan did to make the shawl. But I feel like as a wrap, using scraps could get messy pretty quickly. But if I do it with my own yarn, I could do a fade that would look really nice. So we'll see. I haven't quite decided. I haven't even decided if I want to knit it, but I'm still picking out yarns and imagining projects, so maybe I might do it. The other patterns that they have, the one from Clinch River is a tunic, and you can see that rib panel goes all the way up the front, and it looks really nice. It's really big though, and I don't think I'll ever knit it, but I'm gonna keep it just in case. So it was nice to see, and they had it hanging up, and I'll have that at the end of one of the episodes as well. So the pattern from Loopville is this one, and I think that with some tweaking, I would really like this pattern because it would be so cozy in like fall with just a pair of jeans or some nice thick leggings. Since it does go down so far, it's almost a dress. And I think maybe with a belt to cinch it, or it definitely needs some changes if I were going to wear it, but I still think it's cute. And the last one I have is from Yarn Haven, and it is this adorable poncho. And I don't think, yeah, not giving anything away here. So the shops have really stepped it up from the first year that I did it, when I think one shop was, like, their pattern was mitered square coasters. It's like, what? But they've definitely stepped it up. I don't have the one from Atomic Fibers. When I got my passport stamped, they were so busy, and I think we came in during a wave, because like 6 women came in ahead of us, and I think she was just a little frazzled, and I didn't think to ask, and she didn't think to offer, and I totally understand, because there were lots of people in that shop, and she was the only one, I think, the only one working that day. So I'm just going to get a copy from Alyssa, and I'll probably show that to you guys next week. So I didn't purchase much, even though we did go to 5 yarn shops. I managed to control myself, and I really wasn't planning on buying anything on the crawl, honestly. I'm trying to stick within a nice budget and really think about what I'm purchasing. So we only bought one thing, and that is this. And it's this beautiful pumpkin-y tweed with all these white, gray, and black and beige speckles in it. It's a Plymouth Homestead tweed. Here's the label. What I really want to do is make a Weasley sweater, and I have the Charmed Knits Harry Potter, unofficial Harry Potter knitting book, and I have the other one, the magazine that Interweave put out for the Harry Potter knits. And there is a Weasley sweater pattern in the book, but I want something that's going to be a little more flattering. What I had been eyeballing different worsted weight patterns because I wanted it to be a nice quick knit, and I really had my eye on this yarn. It's not superwash, but I think it's only like $9 a skein, so I could make the sweater for around no more than $65, I think, looking at my estimations. And I'm not sure if I want to do the whole sweater in this orange or if I want to do gray with an orange letter in the middle. But I was watching Off Our Needles, which is the Grocery Girls. They have their little, it's kind of like a second podcast, but it's hosted by Craftsy, and they're doing a knit along for the Zadie sweater, and it is a bottom-up seamless sweater that has here where your raglan increases would be if you did top down. They have a cable pattern that sits in the same spot and acts as the decreases, and I think it's such a nice accent on the sweater, and I haven't been able to find anything similar to it, so I may just have to wait until they stop selling it only as a kit so that I can buy it as just the pattern. But I think that's the one that I want to do, and I'm just not sure which colors I want yet. So I got this for swatching to see if this will work, because I think regardless I want this to be part of the sweater, so I'm not like missing out, or I'm not wasting it, because it'll still go into the sweater. So we'll see. And this way I can make the swatch, carry it around for a few days, and see how it wears, which will be new for me. I feel like that talk I had with Tabitha Hedrick over at Hook and Needle has me all paranoid now. And maybe the fact that my mama vertebrae does not fit me as well as I would like it to, which I should bring that out next week. I'll actually block it and bring it out next week so you guys can see it. Which I think transitions us nicely onto finished objects. What? I finished my shawl. I've been stressing out a little bit about how to wear it, but mostly I just snuggle up with it on the couch. I haven't woven in my ends, but I did block it. And I think, well, let me show it to you first. So here it is. And it's nice and drapey. And it smells really nice too, because I had a sample of, I think it was Eucalyptus wool wash, and it was in the jasmine scent. So it smells really, really nice. But there's that lace pattern. And the yarn I used is my Umber base, which is still currently only available at Hook and Needle, but I will be getting in more of that and making it available. So I'll let you guys know when that base is coming. But it is a 60% superwash merino, 20% yak, and 20% silk. So, I mean, it was nice when I was knitting with it, but now that it's been blocked, it's just super smooth and super soft, and oh, I'm so in love with it. It's very tonal and a bit heathered because of the color of the base, because the base is actually this really beautiful silver gray, but It's the natural color of, I believe, the yak. And then the silk and the merino are mixed in, and it just comes out this really nice light color, and it takes the dye really, really well. Let's see. So, yes, I have been wearing this. I need to weave in the ends, but that involves taking it off, which I don't like to do. But let's see if I can put this on again in a way that doesn't look ridiculous. I think it's because it's my first shawl too, that I'm a little, just tuck that in, there we go. I'm just a little self-conscious about how to wear it because I've never worn one before. So if anybody has any tips, definitely let me know below, or if you want to head over to the episode thread for this where you can find the show notes, which I keep forgetting to say. Show notes will be in the Ravelry group in their own thread, which you'll find down below. But if you have any tips on how to wear a shawl, please let me know. And this shawl is the Traveling Woman shawl. It's by Liz Abinanti, and there it is. You can find it on Ravelry. It's $6, but you can knit the shawl in any yarn weight from lace to worsted, and anything in between. And there are multiple sizes for each one. So $6 to be able to knit. You can basically go into your stash and pull out anything and just knit it. Anywhere worsted down, I guess. But it's definitely worth it. It is a fantastic pattern. And I went ahead, took it to Kinko's, and got it bound for like $5 a few years ago. So definitely check it out. I'm thinking about doing this in a DK weight. Next, I have, it's 100% Polworth in DK, and it's all blue with like a section where I had dyed it yellow, so it over-dyed that spot into like a greenish teal. So it'll look really cool once I work it up. So maybe I'll make myself a gigantic DK shawl, which would be really nice and cozy, especially with, well, I guess not right now in July when it's so hot out, but in winter, I would love that. And on to whips, because this was definitely, I was focused on this quite a bit this past week. Just focused on getting it done. And I'm so happy that it's finished. So happy. Alright. So I've been working on Tim socks, and I haven't made much progress. I didn't have that much time after finishing this to work on them, but I got about 3/4 of an inch in there. I know you guys are probably sick of seeing these. We tried them on Tim's foot, and I have about 4 inches to go until I can start the heel. So his foot's 11 inches, I think. So after those 4 inches, I can start doing the heel. So my hope is that I will be close to that. I want to start the heels on these. We're going this weekend to, and I'll talk about this more later, we're going this weekend to see my family who's staying in Gatlinburg. Unfortunately, there's a tropical storm coming in, so I think we're going to be doing a lot of indoor hanging out, which is fine, but that kind of, the plan was to fish and cook out, so I don't think that's going to be happening anymore, but I should be able to work on these, at least in the car. I have trouble with the ribbing, focusing while hanging out with people, because I'm not ready to make the front of the socks all ribbing, because there's still some stockinette on the side. I have to add in more purl stitches on this side, but I want to wait until I have a little more distance from the start of the last section. I think another inch, and I'll be ready to add that. But I don't want to mess it up and then find out, like, as I get to the heel, or just after the heel, that I mix something up down below, which Tim wouldn't mind. He's very sweet, and he's just happy that I'm making him some socks. But I want these to be really nice, and I want them to fit him well. So hopefully this will go well. And I'm using, what are these? I think these are size 2 Hiya Sharps. And I'm using Malabrigo sock in the Aguas colorway. And it's a 64 stitch sock. And it's, I was using Mina's vanilla sock recipe. And I decided to go toe up so I could keep trying them on his feet as we go. And they were a little too big. He told me they fit perfectly. So I decided to drop all these stitches. And you can see this in previous episodes. I've been working on these socks for a really long time. I dropped all these stitches and added the ribbing to add a little more grip on the socks. Hopefully they fit. I really want them to fit. If this is too big though, that's kind of good because then I can drop down to a smaller stitch amount because he's got really long feet, but they are rather slender. So fewer stitches means faster socks. Haha. That's that, and it's living in a project bag that I made. And living in my gigantic project bag of cuteness covered in my little Cheviettes. And this is made for me by Vicky. I'm working on some spinning. This is for the Spin for All 2017 for Wool Needles Hands. And if you haven't checked out that podcast, you really should. Taylor is adorable, and I love her podcast. She's so bright and cheerful. And I'm spinning because they're doing a drop spindle along over in their group. And I haven't used my drop spindles in so long, and it's really nice having a little portable project because I can just get it out and spin, and since I'm not trying for any specific weight or texture or anything like that, I don't really have to think while I'm spinning. So I've finished up a couple of the Rolags, and these are Rolags that I put together. So here it is. It's coming out more purple than more brown than I thought it would, because there is a lot of brown blended in there. But you can see some of the bluer sections. And here we go. I'm on to the next bit. The drop spindle is one that my husband made for me. It's a purple heart with a mahogany shaft. And I'm not sure of the weight. I'll weigh it once I'm finished spinning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cake, which is the first stuff that I spun, and all the stuff on the outside is the first bit that I spun onto the drop spindle. So I want to put that on the inside of the cake. And then when I take this and put it onto my ball winder and pull the cake off, what I'll be pulling from the inside will be the last bit that I spun. So I want the very first bit of spinning to ply up with the very last bit of spinning. And the reason I want to do that is because my spinning will have changed over the course of, like, from beginning to end. I'm going to have a different consistency. So if I put the beginning and the end together and ply it, it should even things out. I'm looking for a more textured yarn, and I do want it to look kind of homespun and rustic in a really textured kind of way, but I do want it to be a little bit consistent. So if I apply it that way, all of the inconsistencies throughout should even out into a more even yarn. And yeah, that's the plan. I'm just going to apply it back on itself, and I'm not sure what kind of a yardage I'm going to get. I don't think it's going to be that much, but I'm okay with that. I'll figure out what I'm going to make with this. I might weave with it because that'll make the most of the yardage if I make it the weft. That's probably what I'll do. I have a lot of purple hand spun already and blue, so I can probably make some fabric for that. But next week I will have this finished and I'll be able to show it to you. I'll have the finished yarn. The one problem I'm having is I'm spinning and I'm talking to you guys about it, but I've never once posted in the spin along thread. I go in there pretty regularly and I look at what everybody else is doing and I lurk, but I need to start actually posting and interacting, because that's the fun of a knit along or a spin along, is being able to kind of talk with other people and have fun together and make new knitty friends. So I'll do that today while this is uploading. I'll go into the Wool Needle Hands group and actually post some pictures of what I'm working on so that they can see it. I do plan on doing more spinning coming up, because we are heading into July, so Tour de Fleece will be starting, where we spin during Tour de Fleece and see how much we can get done in that time. I don't plan on setting myself any kind of goals or anything like that. I'm just going to spin and have fun. Amy from Stranded Podcast is doing a really laid back Tour de Fleece kind of spin along in her group. It's not about setting super serious goals and stressing yourself out. It's just spinning and having fun. So hopefully I'll get more spinning done and kind of get back into my spinning mojo. Get back my spinning mojo. I don't need to get into it. I just need it back. And spinning with my drop spindle has, I don't know, I think with my wheel, I have to get it out and set it up and get everything working. But with the drop spindle, it's so nice just pulling it out of my pack and spinning that I think I might do Tour de Fleece with my drop spindle. I have several that my husband's made me, and some that are larger than this one, because this one is pretty small and it's not good for the thicker stuff that I'd like to spin. But, I mean, it works. It's a larger spindle would be better because I can pack more onto it. So I think that I'm not sure what I'm going to spin yet. It might be some alpaca that I have in the closet. I have a couple of fleeces left over. I also have a lot of Jacob. And, I have a Shetland fleece. Oh, it's so beautiful and it's so soft. And I think it's actually been washed already, so all I have to do is process it. That might be the winner. I might do that one. But I definitely want to get some spinning done, so you may see more of that. Now, my last whip is a new cast on. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have already seen the yarn that I picked out. But I am knitting myself a pair of Afterthought socks. So I haven't looked up a pattern, but I know the basic premise behind an Afterthought heel, and I've heard of Afterthought everything socks, so I'm going to wing it, and we're going to see how that goes. From my understanding, an Afterthought heel is where you go back in and you pick up stitches, snip your yarn so that you open everything back up, and basically put in a toe for the heel. And I'm pretty sure I can handle that. So what I'm going to do is I've already started, and this is my hand dyed. So I guess I should show you the yarn. This is my Nargles colorway on Halfling, and I showed this a few weeks ago, actually quite a few weeks ago I think, where I just wanted to see how it would look, so I put it through my sock knitting machine, and now I can put my arm through and just carry it around while I'm knitting. So I really, really like that. But I took the 3 colors that are in this colorway and dyed up some 10-gram minis. And here they are, covered in my hair and Tesla's. But I'm using these to do mixed matched heels, cuffs, and toes. So the next one, I've already done this one, to where I've got that nice blue and then the green and the pink. And it's a 20 row cuff that is in 2x2 twisted rib. And I'm using mostly size 1 needles, but I am using a size 2 in here as well because I can't find the other 2 of the set for the size 1 needles. I've only got 3 of them. So I'm making do with what I have. It shouldn't throw off anything too much. I've decided to do a 56 stitch sock, and so I've made the cuff, and it was 15 rows of the blue, then a row of the green, a row of the pink, and then 3 rows of blue. Now that the cuff is finished, I'm just going to work in stockinette stitch in a big long tube, and then I'm going to end it with another cuff in green. And what my plan is I measured from the top of my foot and up my shin how long I want the sock to be, and then I subtracted 2 inches for the toe because I'm going to add that in later, and I subtracted the length of the cuff. So that leaves me with about 7.5 inches of stockinette stitch for this sock. So that means I need to double that number for the stockinette section since I'm knitting 2 socks at once. So I'll have 15 inches of stockinette stitch before the next cuff. So that what I'll be able to do in the end probably should have done this earlier. So you'll have the cuff, and you'll have the cuff with all this stockinette in between. That'll be 15 inches. And then when I'm ready, I'll go in and I'll make the cut in the middle to put in my toes, and then I'll find the spacing for the heels and cut in my heels as well. And with my minis, what I'm gonna do, this sock is going to have a green heel and a pink toe, and then when I make the green heel, or the green cuff, it'll be marked out for a pink heel and a blue toe. So the stripes indicate, just for fun, what's going to happen on the sock. So they'll both be different, but they'll definitely be a pair, and I'm excited. So this will be great for going to see my family, and I can just, while we're hanging out, I can work on this because it's just stockinette stitch. I can do that just while walking around the grocery store. So I don't have to worry about messing anything up. Ideally, I wish I had one of those smaller circulars in like an 8 or a 9 inch in a size 1, because it would be much easier than dealing with the double pointed needles, because they are long, and I'm starting to, I don't work with double pointed needles much anymore, and constantly working with them, the sides of my hands are getting tired because I'm gripping them with my pinkies. I was watching Hooked on Ink Blobs with Tanya, and she was talking about having arm pain because while she's knitting, if she's able to grip with her pinkies, it causes some of the pain in her arms. And I hadn't really thought of that, and until now, like in my own knitting, I can definitely feel that I'm doing it, because here we go. As I'm knitting, you can see that I'm gripping it with those fingers, and that's kind of tiring and kind of makes my hands a little stiff, so I need to do more stretches in between. I have to kind of take breaks to do that. But overall, if I enjoy cutting in the toes and the heels, this could be fun, because I need to do my socks at the same time, otherwise they're not going to match up, or I just won't finish the second sock. But I feel like the 2 at a time socks is taking so long, and there's so much fussing with the cable, that I might enjoy this more. The only problem is I will have to find set times to buckle down and get the heels and toes started, because I think that's going to take a lot of focus, and I like to do a lot of my knitting without having to focus. So we'll see. It should work out well. I'm enjoying it so far, and I like that I'm only having to do one cuff at the beginning, and then at the end, when it's time to do another cuff, and honestly, I really don't like knitting the cuffs at all. I get to kind of power through it because I'm almost done. So I think it'll go really well. But I will keep you updated as to how well this actually works. I think that's all we have for Yarny Goodness this week. So if that's all you're here for, totally fine. I'll see you guys next week. If you enjoyed the video though, please, if you could give it a thumbs up, it'll help other people find it. And if you could subscribe, that would be great. It'll help us get to 100 subscribers a lot quicker. And if you want to join the Ravelry group, that's where we're going to have the giveaway. So you can find that link down below to get over there and join us in the chatter for the There and Back Again Cal. Even if you're not taking part in the Cal, you can always go in and be a cheerleader. We will have prizes for the chatter thread, so definitely check it out. And yeah, I think that's about everything. So I'll see you guys next week, and thanks so much. For everyone else, we will be moving on to shop update and the not so nitty portion. So shop update, we will not be having a shop update this week, but only because I am reworking how the shop updates will happen. So I think that what we're going to do is, because I don't want to, I take out a day each week in order to do the podcast, and I would like to shift the shop update. So I'm only taking a day out each week, a day out every 2 weeks. So we're going to be moving to a 2-week schedule, but I'm not sure what day of the week we're going to be doing the update. So if you have any suggestions, you can leave them down below in the comments, or you can tell me in the Ravelry group on the episode thread. So I'm still working that out, but I will announce it next week, and I'll have all the yarns from this week and the week coming up to show you that'll be in that shop update. So definitely check it out. That update next week will have lots of yarn, but I'm also going to try to get in as many bats as I can, since we've got Tour de Fleece coming up. If anybody's got their eye on any fiber, or they're looking to add to their stash so that they can get some spinning done, definitely take a look, tune in with me next week so you can see what's going in, because we'll have lots of new bats. So on to the not so nitty portion. So the girls have been crazy as ever. Tim called me into we call it the catch-all room, and it's where we keep all the stuff that hasn't been unboxed yet from the move, and where we keep, I have a table in there for packaging up orders and taking photos for shop updates. And he calls me in there, and I've still got the setup up for taking photos, so I can't see out the window. He's like, give me your phone. Someone's chickens are in the yard. I'm like, oh. And I'm thinking, someone's birds have heard them clucking and come over to say hi or something like that. And I give him the phone, and he starts recording, and I'm like, well, what are they doing? What do they look like? And he's like, well, just hang on a second. So he lets me look, and I go tearing out of the room because it's Detta and Bluto, of course, hanging out just around the outside of their space that they have. It's a temporary holding pen, basically, but it's the coop that we made for them so they can be outside in the grass. And they're just, like, clucking and walking around it while the bacalls are, like, following them around on the inside. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing out there? Get back in here. So I got out there, and I opened the gate, and they both just kind of walked back in. They weren't scared of me or anything like that. They all seem to know me very well. If I go outside and I say, hey, ladies, or if I go to the boys and they say, hello, boys, they come running over. So if anybody gets out, it's not a big deal. They stay close to the coop, trying to get back in. And not that it happens all the time. We had Foghorn get out once. Bluto and Detta got out once. And a couple of boys got out once because I wasn't paying attention when I moved them, and the back end of the coop was at an angle. So all I had to do was come out and use whatever phrase I use for those birds, and they came running to me and got everybody back inside. No problems. So it's a good thing that I take my time with them so they know me and don't go, ah, predator, and run away. I found a tortoise next to their coop, which was really cool. I poked his shell to see if he was alive, and he hissed at me and took off somewhere. I don't know where he went. I think I saw his trail leading back into the woods, but that was very cute. The 3 turkeys and their chicks still walking around, still do not care that we're here. They just walk out right in front of Tim when he gets home from work. So that's really cute. I haven't seen them up close in a while. They were out 2 days ago, so I haven't seen the chicks because I was in the middle of dishes and I didn't want to run outside and startle them. But I haven't seen the chicks. I'm sure they're getting much bigger based on how quickly the girls grew. My family's going to be in town, and I mentioned already that I'll be stopping by Smoky Mountain Spinnery to get my passport stamped, check out their patterns, and see what they have in stock. We'll see if I'm able to, because we are on a bit of a budget, just in general, not so much a yarn diet, just a overall budget. And but Smoky Mountain Spinnery, we had a lot of wildfires last year, and they were affected. I think they had to replace pretty much all of their inventory because of the smoke. They couldn't salvage most of what was there. So, I mean, I know Shay and Alyssa are planning on doing a lot of their spinning purchases there just to support the store, and I may get something. We'll see. We'll see what I'm able to kind of work out budget-wise. My family, while they're here, we had plans to cook out and fish and just hang out at the cabin they rented the whole time. Turns out we can't bring Tesla, but that's okay. He's gonna stay the night at a friend's house, even though we'll be coming back because we have to feed the chickens and everything. He's just gonna stay there overnight because it'll just be easier. And we have a tropical storm coming in, so not the best timing for their vacation. It looks like we're going to be inside for most of it, but should still be fun. Some of them I haven't seen in years. My cousin Dana said the last time she met me she was changing my diaper, so I definitely need to get to know her. And I think we're going to have fun, though. I'll have my knitting with me just in case. I think I hope they're adjusting their plans. I should message them and find out if they even know about the tropical storm. But I'm not too worried about it. I'm from Florida. We're used to hurricanes and tropical storms and everything, so we should be fine. And we should be able to just kind of hang out for the weekend. I have been reading quite a bit. I've been making my way through the Mercy Thompson books, which are really good. I'm on number 8, but I have to start actually reading that one. So I'll be doing that when I have a chance. And I'll be casting it using Google Chrome onto the TV so I can just kind of tap it with my foot to turn pages while I read. So that should make things much easier. I've been listening to The Golden Compass and The Subtle Knife. I'm onto the Amber Spyglass, and the recording of that book is fantastic. It's a full cast, and I believe the author is actually narrating it, and he has a beautiful voice. But I've always loved that series. It's so good. When I got emotional during book 2 when you lose a couple characters, and Tim's like, really? I haven't actually made any progress on Demon Pig, which I think I forgot about it because I just shoved it in the podcasting basket of holding, which is able to hold every little thing that I have to take for the podcast, except for the tripod and the blanket. Those are the only 2 things I have to carry outside of the basket. But it's just been in there, and I think that's why I forgot about it. So I should probably take that out at the end of this episode and toss it off to the side. Yeah, I think just all we've got planned for the week is running around with my family and going to Smoky Mountain Spinnery. So that should be fun. I'll try to post some photos while I'm in Gatlinburg to Instagram, and I'll keep you guys updated on how this goes. But I think that's all for today. So thank you if you stuck all the way through. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, you know, please go ahead and, I know I've said it already in the video, but if you could like it and subscribe if you haven't already, so we can get up to the 100 subscribers so I can give away some yarn. And I will see you guys next week. So thank you so much for tuning in, and happy making. Bye guys.